Hey there everybody, this is Lee with Creative Two-Time Mom, and this is going to be a Homeschool ABC Collab video. The letter this week is the letter O. O for Mary Pope Osborne. So a couple of years ago, we were going to be traveling down to my sister-in-law's high school graduation. Yes, high school. There's a 13-year age difference between my husband and his sister. And we were going to be in the car for 6 hours. So all I could think at the time was, I'm going to be in the car for 6 hours with a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. And the idea of it completely was overwhelming, to say the least. And we don't have a DVD system in our car, so I was looking for ways to keep them busy and keep their minds engaged without all of us pulling our hair out. So I went to my library and I discovered the Magic Treehouse series on audiobook, and we loaded up on a whole bunch of those, plus some Boxcar Children, of course. And I was amazed how well our trip went. Of course, we had stops along the way for the kids to get out and play, and we stopped to eat and use the bathroom, but for the most part, they sat in the car seats, they read books, they colored, and they listened to these Magic Treehouse books. Over the years since then, we listened to over 50 of these books and just loved them. But then once we kind of got to the end of the series, they went to the wayside and we moved on to other things. And we have recently rediscovered them. My daughter is reading at a high 2nd grade, early 3rd grade level. And I was looking for something to move her from the really easy books to a beginning chapter book. Even with my son being in 4th grade, there is still a little bit of a transition period in there where most books are really too easy or the storyline is just not engaging. And so we're looking for early chapter books that'll keep their minds engaged without being too difficult to read. So I went back to these Magic Treehouse books, and I remembered how much I love Mary Pope Osborne's writing. My daughter can read through these in about 2 or 3 days. She reads 3 or 4 a week, and each one of them is so well researched. They're not just a story, but you see just the relationship between the characters. There's a good sibling relationship between the 2 main characters, plus they're historically accurate. So it's a really fun way to learn about different time periods, different topics in history. There's jungle, there's ninjas, there's dinosaurs, there's the adventures of Merlin, so you're learning folklore and you're learning about the Knights of the Round Table. You're learning about China and different languages and different countries. Each one of them is so well written. I cannot recommend these highly enough. So definitely check out the Magic Treehouse series. We were looking at the requirements for 4th grade this year, and one of the requirements was some sort of knowledge of Greek mythology. And I don't have a real clear knowledge of Greek mythology, so I wasn't super comfortable with that. But I looked up, I don't even know how I found these, found them on Amazon somehow. They're the Tales from the Odyssey. These are also by Osborne. I was a lit major in college, and I gotta admit, I didn't understand the Odyssey as well as I do now because I'm reading these with my son. They're really, they're labeled as a 4th or 5th grade reading level, but I would say high 3rd grade, middle 4th grade, because they're very quick read. They're very easy to understand. It goes into the mythology and what all the characters are and what their powers are and their purposes are, and it follows Odysseus's travels of trying to get back home. Love these. My son loves them. They're a little gory at times, but not too graphic because they're still 4th grade reading level, and you really get a good idea of what's going on with the characters. The last book was, because I knew she did those, I also looked up to see what else Osborne did in the way of Greek mythology, and we found favorite Greek myths at our local library. This takes some of the lesser known myths. I think there's about 13 of them in here, and they talk about just it's really written in a very accessible way. So she retells them. I'm reading through these with my 4th grader and my 1st grader, and we read one every day at night before bedtime, and we're really into them. We're almost done with the book. This is a great book if you're just looking to get like an overview of some different stories. So those are our favorite Osborne books right now. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if you've read anything by this author and what it is, if you would recommend it or not. We're always looking for new books, particularly this is the author that we are super into right now and we're all reading. So talk to you later, mamas.